North Idaho may not be the place for you. Yes, it is beautiful. It's an amazing place to live, full of great community and wonderful things, but it might not be for you. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about some of those topics. Some of them are hot topics. We're talking about guns, God, taters, and a few other things thrown in. And you might get to the end of this video and decide, you know what? That's not the place for me to live. Well, if that question's been keeping you up at night, you are in the right spot. Let's go get after it right now. Kristen, myself, and our team, we get calls, texts, and emails every single day from people just like you trying to learn more about North Idaho. Be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on all of our latest content. And if you're looking to move right now or 12 months from now, give us a holler. We would love to be your North Idaho agents and help you make that smooth move right here to North Idaho. Idaho has a strong gun culture that goes back many generations. I dug up some statistics, but before I give them to you, I am not a lawyer. I am not an expert in any of this. I'm just giving you information. I am a former police officer, so I have some knowledge, but I did not work as a police officer in the state of Idaho. So this is all my own research. Do your own research as well. Idaho, 60% of the people own guns. I think that number is probably higher. Maybe not. Not sure about that one, but I found that information online. That is going by registered firearms. I'm sure there are plenty of people with unregistered firearms here in Idaho. Ooh, scary. Idaho is fourth in the country for the amount of firearm ownership per capita. Fourth in the country. So a lot of people here own guns. And gun laws here are favorable to people who from that gun culture. So that's why a lot of people like it here. You can purchase guns rather easily. Also, certain things are legal that might not be legal in other states. High capacity magazines, pretty much any semi-automatic rifle, pistol that you like. You can carry a concealed weapon here without a permit for that. You can also get a permit, it's called an enhanced CCW, and that gives you reciprocity in a few bordering states, which is nice. So you could, in theory, carry to Washington, which is a big benefit since we're so close to the Washington border here. A couple other laws here that are kind of unique is open carry. And yes, you can carry a pistol in a holster on your side. You can sling an AR-15 over your back and ride down the freeway on a motorcycle if you're so inclined. That, ladies and gentlemen, is freedom. My personal feelings on open carry, I think it's stupid, but you have the right to do that, so go ahead and exercise that right. I prefer to keep my guns concealed so I don't let everyone know that I have one. Good guys and bad guys. But it's an option here. Also an option are short barrel rifles and suppressors. If I'm boring you with what I'm talking about, Idaho might not be for you. But you can have those in this state. It is a lengthy process to get them. You need a federal tax stamp for that, but just wanted to let you know that you can own them. Pretty cool. So firearms, that's a hot topic, and I wanted to kind of bring that up and just let people know. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to see guns everywhere. Obviously, it feels very safe here. You're not going to feel unsafe. There's a huge population of retired law enforcement and veterans in this area, and that is probably a big driver for some of that gun culture. Also hunting, there's a huge hunting culture here as well. So that's why there are so many firearms in this area. And you will occasionally see someone in the line at Walmart with a pistol on their hip. If that gives you heart palpitations, don't move to Idaho. Hey, let's go to the next one. If crosses and good moral structure make your heart go a pitter-patter in a bad way, then Idaho might not be the place for you. And I'm talking about God and religion. Idaho is a very religious place. 53% of Idahoans attend some type of church. The national average is like 48%, so we are above that national average. Coeur d'Alene itself has 172 registered religious organizations and churches. 172 in Coeur d'Alene. So that's a lot, obviously. Bible thumpers abound. And if that bugs you, maybe Idaho's not the place. There are, let's say, Idaho is, and particularly North Idaho, is predominantly Christian. However, you can find all denominations up here. Let's see, I wrote down a little bit of a list. LDS, Judaism, Buddhism, Islam, it's all here. Christianity, though, is going to be the predominant religion in the area. And there are a ton of churches, and there are some big churches. Great communities. They do a lot for the community here in Coeur d'Alene and North Idaho in general. So it's a big asset to the community. Some people are bothered by religion. Some people don't want to be bothered by religious people. So if you're in that category, you may not want to move here. However, don't be alarmed. No one's going to accost you in Costco and try to force you into their religion. I've lived here for multiple years now, and I've never had that issue. Most people are very welcoming and, may try to influence you to come to their church and check it out, but it is by no means a mandatory thing up here. So don't be alarmed, but it is something to think about. You will see a lot of churches, and you will see a lot of churchgoers, and things slow down a bit on Sunday morning. That is it. Let's move on to the next one. If you're not the I like my coffee black and my tea in the harbor type of person, then maybe Idaho's not for you. Yeah, I'm talking about freedom. And Idaho is a freedom-loving state. I'm going to read off some notes here real quick, so pardon my eyeballs. Idaho is in the top 10 states for several categories, and I got these off the official Idaho website, so you can look them up yourself. Top 10 state for overall freedom, overall economic freedom, overall regulatory policy freedom, gun rights. Guns have rights? Yes, they do in Idaho. You're damn right. Occupational freedom and health insurance freedom. So Idaho tops these top 10 lists for states in all of those categories, which is fantastic. I was doing a little more research, and I found that in 2019, Idaho cut more than 1,800 pages of regulations, making it the least regulated state in the nation. I think that's accurate. Sounds pretty good. But when you look at regulations in other states, some states are constantly adding them. California, for example, will regulate their population to death or until they leave the state. Idaho is doing the opposite, and I can definitely appreciate that. Most people don't like taxes. Most people don't like regulations. And Idaho is pretty good on both of those. Let's talk about a personal example. So when I moved here, it was in the middle of that big C word epidemic that we had a few years back. And one of the draws that brought us here after we visited is the fact that there were very few mask mandates up here. I am not a doctor, so please don't fact check me. I'm just telling you personal experience. Don't attack me. I don't care. I don't want to wear a mask, and my kids don't want to wear masks, and I don't want them to wear masks. And we found that here in Idaho, almost nowhere required it, Costco being the only one, which was a bummer. But other than that, we lived here mask-free throughout the entire thing. And that was amazing for our family. So that's my personal experience. We really appreciated that. That's one of the things that drew us here to Idaho is that regulation. And, shocker, we didn't all die. So that's a big plus. Happy to share that with you guys. If something like that were to occur in the future, and I can damn well guarantee Idaho's not going to go down that road, especially here in North Idaho, because it is even more conservative. And while we're on that topic, I don't like to talk politics a lot, but I feel like I should share because I think there's a common misconception that Idaho is super right-wing, crazy nut job, preppers everywhere, and that's just not accurate. The same as, a lot of these other states aren't all far left crazy people. I think the majority of the country lies right in the middle, and if we just sat down with each other and talked it out, we'd probably realize we're all pretty damn similar in the end. Thank you, media, for pushing us all apart. There's my my little sidebar on that. So, love everybody. There you go. All right, what do we got next? Maybe those fancy Uggs are all show and no go, or your idea of the great outdoors is walking through the planter boxes as you cut through the mall parking lot on the way to Jamba Juice. If that's you, maybe Idaho's not the place for you because it's pretty dang rugged and outdoorsy, and we love it that way. Check it out. Idaho is 60%, over 60% public land. It's 34 million acres. That's insanity. And you, as the public of Idaho, can use that for a lot of amazing activities, which is a pretty darn cool thing. But maybe that bugs you. Maybe it's intimidating to go out in the woods by yourself, or you think about all those wild animals. I don't know. Now, I'm not saying you can't find bougie restaurants and cool shops, because we have that too. But Idaho is really known for its outdoors, and once you step foot in this place up here, you will see the beautiful mountain peaks, the crystal clear lakes, water squeezed from a glacier. It's unbelievable. And Idaho has a pretty big selection of wild animals. Some of them might surprise you. We have all the regular stuff: cougars, black bears, coyotes, things like that. You will occasionally find grizzlies and wolves in Idaho. How crazy is that? Some big timber wolves you don't want to play with. But the real gangster of the woods is the moose. Those are the ones to watch out for. And if you don't know that and you think you're going to go pet that cute little moose with its little baby moose, good luck. Nice knowing you. You're done. You're going to get killed by a gangly looking weird camel-like animal. It's all bad. Idaho also has a very large hunting culture, and you will not change that, so don't try if you don't like hunting. Just embrace it. Maybe get some friends that will give you some fresh meat, and enjoy the bounty of North Idaho. And you will occasionally see a deer strapped to a truck, bleeding down the backside of the truck. Not the deer, that's bleeding too, but and that's completely normal. Or you might see an elk head sitting in the back of a truck, proudly displayed to show those beautiful antlers. That is a possibility as well. I'm not saying you'll see that everywhere, but you will see it occasionally. And if you can't sleep at night after you see that, Idaho is not the place for you. 9 out of 10 Americans associate Idaho with potatoes. So if you don't like taters, you might not like Idaho. Shame on you. Did you know that here in Idaho we call tater tots gems? Little fact for you. And Idaho grows a crap ton of potatoes. Well, let me look at my notes. 311,000 acres of potatoes are harvested every year here in Idaho. You will not believe the amount of potatoes they get from that. 13 billion, that's with a B, billion pounds of potatoes are harvested in Idaho every year. That is unbelievable. So it's a big part of the culture. And admittedly, that's mostly down in southern Idaho. You probably won't see that here in North Idaho. However, I had to bring it up because 9 out of 10 Americans believe Idaho is entirely potatoes. The average American eats 111 pounds of potatoes every year. Who knew? So, if you don't like taters, you're not going to like Idaho. If you don't like gems, you're not going to like Idaho. Just warning you. Wanted to give you guys a heads up before you moved here. That's a big deal around here. Hey, thank you for putting up with me. I hope you got value and learned something from that video. I enjoy making these. I apologize for my cheesy jokes, but it's just who I am. When you meet me in person someday, you'll see that I'm exactly the same way. So once again, thanks for sticking around. This video was fun to make. I enjoy talking about everything about North Idaho. And if myself, Kristen, or any of our team of former and current public safety professionals can help you and be your North Idaho agent, we would love to help you make that smooth move right up here. So if you're looking right now or 12 months from now, just shoot me an email. Super non-committal. You can handle that. I'll email back and we can chat and see where it goes from there. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and tap the notifications bell so you can stay up to date with all of our latest content. All right, thank you again. Catch you guys next time.